Welcome to Rocky Broad Solar, where we encourage you to make the current flow. On today's episode, we're going to go through a ground-mounted installation we did here in western North Carolina, utilizing IronRidge XR1000 rails and racking components, along with 2-inch galvanized steel pipe and a mixture of ground screws and concrete footers. We hit a lot of hiccups on this project, as expected with any ground mount, and we'll go through how we solve those problems throughout the video. If you're getting value out of today's content, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and press the notification bell. We've got a lot of good content on the way. Let's get into it.
Good morning, guys. Chris and I are here. We're getting started on putting in the ground screws. We've got this nice excavator with a drilling arm. You'll see that in action a little bit later. So we've got our 4 corners marked. We're squared, ready to go. Our next step is going to be to prep all of these ground screws by putting in set screws, so that as we're torquing these screws into the ground, we don't have to worry about shearing off these welded on nuts. Alright, we've got our set screws into all of our ground screws. Chris and I have gone through and we've got all of our post locations marked. As Chris is winding up our string. All of our post locations are marked. So the goal is to set this post, set the far post, and then we will tie strings between the two and use those to line up our remaining screws. Alright, so we've got Chris here. We got him lined up on our first screw. We have torpedo levels on each side of the screw. So as he's drilling, I'll guide him to make sure that we're coming in nice and plumb. Ready, Chris?
I'm ready.
So when I priced this job out, I kind of expected there was a good chance we might hit some rocks along the way. Due to the topography and the tight road this place was on, getting concrete and getting a pump truck to this location presented a difficult challenge, so I decided to try the ground screws, knowing that we very well may end up running into issues and having to pivot over to concrete.
So with a little help from the excavator, we now have 6x6 planted into the ground, plumbed up, ready for concrete.
Hey, DIY solar is not for everybody. This stuff's complex and difficult. If you're just looking to hire a professional to install solar and storage on your home in the western North Carolina area, go ahead down in that description below. Check out our Rocky Broad Solar intake form, where you can just fill out some questions about your specific scenario, and we'll get back to you within a few days with a zero-cost, pressure-free quote. You can also check us out at www.rockybroadsolar.com, or you can just give us a call at the number here, 828-231-8359. Let's get back into it.
We got a little bit of rain going on here.
So we had to swap roughly half of the footers out after hitting rock with the screws for just sinking 2-inch galvanized steel into concrete footers. That was a pretty easy switch to do on the IronRidge calculator, where you just go and design it, change it to footers, determine your width and depth, and have some good structural reports to go along with it. Now, ground mounts have a lot of pros and cons. The cons are obviously it's much more expensive. You have to rent heavy machinery. It's a lot more cost in steel and racking components. It's a lot more labor than a roof mounted system. But hey, it's superior in a lot of ways as well. You know, you don't have to go back up on the roof if any issues ever arise. You never have to worry about what happens come time re-roof, or you don't have to worry about roof leaks or any of that stuff. You just have a nice ground mounted array that'll be there for eternity, and you can easily access everything if any service issues come up. So we brought in just a handheld concrete mixer and hauled in concrete by bag to fill the footers, because again, getting a concrete truck in here just really wasn't in the cards.
Way back to our main breaker.
Alright, best practice here for turning everything back on, at least the way we like to do it, is we want to go ahead and turn on the main breaker, confirm that we have the proper voltages across both legs,
Yep.
and then each leg independently.
Yep.
So we've got our 240 across each leg, and then 120 from each leg to neutral and to ground. We'll do the same check over here, just to be thorough, before we turn on the load breaker inside of the GridBOSS. Inside here at the load center, we are going to turn breakers on one by one. Okay, so I am making some custom Cat 6 terminations here. According to EG4's documentation, you have two cables that are going to run to the GridBOSS from the FlexBOSS, and you have a left port and a right port. So I label these wires before I pull them, and I indicate one of them. They want them like in opposite ports. So if I put this cable that I'm labeling is with just white tape on the other end, I'm going to put the one that's labeled on the right port. So it's a little confusing, but you want to like swap these between the FlexBOSS and the GridBOSS. I don't know why, but that's how it's written. It's how I've always done it, and to date, I've had no issues doing such.
If anyone's trying to DIY this system at their home, go ahead down in that description below. I have some good links and coupon codes for all the equipment that we are installing here today, as well as that coupon code which can save you even more money on top of any other deals going on at this time. Let's get back into it.
Alright, so we have our 22 posts in the ground, 11 are poured in concrete, and 11 are set in ground screws. We did put up a additional brace here, just on this high side, but we are getting ready to start laying panels.
Again, it's really nice having a ground mounted array. It makes mounting solar panels very easy. You can get to the bottom for wire management. You can utilize those bifacial panels to get additional bifacial gain from sunlight hitting the back of the modules. And yeah, once all the racking and everything's in place, laying the panels, it goes very smooth. So we had to go with an overhead line here due to the topography, all the rocks, a road, and a creek that was between the array and the home. Obviously those overhead lines have clearance requirements. In this case, being that it ran over an existing driveway, we had to maintain that 15-foot clearance from the line, from the lowest point of the lines over the road. Again, overhead line, add a little bit of cost to this, and a lot of complexity. But hey, it beat trying to trench under a creek and deal with all of that nonsense. Here we've got our DC disconnect that'll sever the connection between the solar panels and the house.
Not every job you have a concrete floor and crawl space. You can use a creeper. Push yourself around.
With some flexible metallic conduits, always nice for running in a crawl space or somewhere where it's hard to get in and bend some EMT. And if it's not in a highly visible area, it's not really it.
I guess we could also
Alright, so Ryan just flipped the DC disconnect over at the array, and we immediately saw over 300 volts from each string. We got 3.6 on string 1, 3.4, and 3.5. So we are cranking out some power. We are charging this battery bank with almost 10 kilowatts of power, and we are running the loads in the house. We do not have this system set to export at this point. We are waiting on our whole interconnection agreement, but our first test here with the system is highly successful. We're thrilled.
So here you can see all the batteries are up and charging. We've got it running in zero export while we're waiting on permission to operate from the utility. This will allow the customer to have backup power and self-consume some of their solar during the day and nighttime.
Hey guys, this is Ryan with Rocky Broad Solar out here in beautiful western North Carolina. Giving you a quick rundown on the latest ground mount that we have installed. These are 550 watt bifacial panels, giving us a very, very nice, clean install.
If you're out there trying to DIY this system yourself, make sure and go ahead down in that description below. Check out our Rocky Broad Solar Ultimate DIY Guide. It's got a lot of helpful tips on tricks on how to get this system installed in a safe, code-compliant manner, how to choose the right equipment, how to get it past that final inspection. It also has a bunch of deals and discount codes that you can use on top of any other deals going on at this time to save yourself even more money on top of those deals. Let's get back into it.
We have our solar DC disconnect attached directly to the ground mount. From our DC disconnect, we come down, trench across to an EMA3 rated outdoor junction box, going back and up to a weatherhead. This weatherhead is carrying all of our number 10 PV wires across a creek and a driveway to get us back to the house. I'm now at our other post where you can see the other weatherhead. We then land in another NEMA junction box, come down, it is trenched across, and lands in a third junction box.
Well everyone, I sincerely appreciate each and every one of you for watching. That's pretty much all we've got for you today. Again, make sure to like, subscribe, so you can see our upcoming videos. We got a lot of really cool content on the way. Till next time, take care.